It's a beautiful bacon day, Cookie Crusaders. Today we're going to be running a team with the legendary cookies as we are asking the question, are they still good? It's a lot of teams have been coming out between the speed teams with Caramel Arrow, the defensive teams with Wildberry and Financier Cookie, Clotted Cream taking a high spot, Oyster with Summoners, quite a lot of different variances out there. So what we are running is Cream Unicorn and Cotton as our two healers. Even though Cream Unicorn is better as a solo healer, you still have to wait on the ability cooldown. And with a team like this, you are not very defensive because of the two midpoints just being pure damage cookies and not defensive or tanky in their own rights. And even though Cacao is extremely tanky, he still cannot hold enough damage and weight to protect the midline. So for that reason, we need a second healer. Now, the toppings, this is really depending on your monuments and everything. So if you do not have a high level critical lab and high level critical damage monument, the Cacao monument, then please run Searing toppings in place of the critical apple jelly toppings. That is my only change recommendation. So Jar Cacao and Sea Fairy, they are both running the apple jelly setups, high damage resistance as they can, high critical percentages, and high cooldowns if they can to get those skills activated as much as possible. Frost Queen is running Searing because I'm still trying to work out if Frost Queen can actually do critical damage or not, as I'm not 100% sure based on just watching animations. So for now we're running the attack toppings to just have as much burst damage as possible from those ice shards. Cotton, we are running the traditional cooldowns, and Cream Unicorn also running cooldowns to get that healing activated as quick as we can. So let's take it against some random teams and see what we get. Are the legendaries still good? So we're fighting against an Espresso, a Vampire, and a Wildberry. High defenses, interruptions from Espresso, great DPS from their end. They've got two Magic Candy users. So overall, it's a strong team, no doubt. We are running the Clock for skill cooldowns. We are running the Feather for a revive. Hopefully normally goes to Frost Queen or Sea Fairy. In this battle, it went to Cotton. Our healing is doing a good job. However, they are equally doing some high heals from their Cream Unicorn. We have only lost Cotton so far, but that is because our Cotton is not running a huge damage resistance on our setup. And we did get the overall advantage against this team thanks to Frost Queen's skill stopping. So that freeze really did a big job. So as you can see, it was a pretty tie battle between the three high-hitting cookies. Dark Cacao did a great job, Sea Fairy did an absolutely amazing job with the stuns, and Frost Queen did awesome with the freeze. They did less than their Espresso did on their team, but as you can see on the healing side, we healed over 6 million health. So Cream Unicorn still shined above Cotton because there was that much damage to heal against. So it did work out, but it was a tough fight. There's no doubt on that. That's why that Feather's in there, to make sure we get that cookie back and we keep rolling. We're going to go ahead and fight this person, and then I'm going to bypass the other two fights real quick because there's something that we should of course win. Or actually, I'll take it against some of my guild members to show you people of the same caliber that I'm fighting against and with, and see how we fare against their meta teams that I'm sure that they're running. So this time we're fighting up against Pomegranate, good healer, good attack buffer, Espresso, Vampire, Dark Cacao, and Financier. So they don't have Wildberry, and they were able to do a huge amount of damage. That was because of the attack buff from Pomegranate. So even though they didn't have Wildberry for defensive structure there, the Pomegranate made Espresso so extremely powerful there that we were not able to keep up. So in an instance like this, we did not have the advantage. They had two Magic Candy users. The more Magic Candies that are against you when you're not using them yourself, the more you're going to honestly be in danger. So I'm not surprised that we lost this battle, but it's really just Pomegranate here is specifically buffing the team. And as you can see, all of them are taking advantage, but Espresso for sure. Espresso did almost 5 million damage. And we didn't get a lot of heals in because we really didn't have a lot of time. That's because the vampire on the other team probably took out our cream unicorn after the first round of heals, in addition to the interrupt blast from Espresso. So that's why that team ended up failing. So let's go ahead and take it across a couple different other teams. 1 second while I get us over to that direction. Let's just pick a random guild member. Let's go this person. Okay, T19. It's a good team. Good toppings, I'm sure. High power. They're using legendaries as well. This should be an interesting fight. Either our heals should be able to keep us alive, or we'll fall to the pure amount of damage that they can output. So we'll see. And as you can see, they are doing very powerful damage right off the bat. But any good, well set up T-Knight team honestly should be, because it's not about keeping your cookies alive. It's about dealing the most damage to the opponent so that you cripple them right away. And it's a good fight. We did lose our Cacao and our 2 legendaries, so now we're fighting on healers. Looks like this is something we are going to also lose as well. And that's okay. We're asking the question here. Are the legendaries still good? Because the other cookies that we're using, they're well able to handle against most battles and most teams. So that's not really the question here. It's really the question of how are they handling. Alright. Here's a good meta team. So Cloud of Cream. This is more against the Affogato team and the Speed team. So this is like a defensive setup against that side. So let's see if this is something that we can take out. Cloud Cream will do crowd control, which will handle the sheep from Cotton. And Vampire's probably going to take out our Cream Unicorn after a couple rotations. Depends on how fast we can heal. That silence coming from their end of the field from their Cream Unicorn, that's a little bit tough, but we'll see if we're able to keep in the battle with it. Our feather goes to Cotton, so looks like we're going to be banking here on just pure damage. Looks like both Frost Queen and Seafarer are duking it out. Our Cream Unicorn and Cotton did a really good job there of keeping everybody alive. It was a very close battle. Very, very close. But they did a great job. Frost Queen still ended up doing the most. As you can see, Cloud of Cream was pretty much the heavy hitter on their side of the team, which was also super buffed by their Financer cookie, so not a bad setup at all. But let's see the healing. Yet again, Cream Unicorn doing a great job. Cotton actually was able to outdo Cream Unicorn this time, probably because less skill interruptions were happening between the different team setup, because as you saw from the other teams, we were fighting Espresso, and Espresso, every time an interruption happens, Cotton loses the overall capabilities and skills, where Cream Unicorn really doesn't have that effect too much, seeing as it's just a burst heal versus a continuous attacking heal. So that's why the heals look different on these sides. So I guess the question really is to you guys in the comments, and I'd love to hear your feedback so that way I can see what you guys think. Do you think the legendaries are still good enough? Do you think it's specifically toppings that matter, that would make them viable in certain teams? Do you think that they're only really good enough with certain combinations? Or do you think that if we get a new legendary, that 3 legendaries together will be really the nice kicker to push it over? Do you think that that might be something that would amplify it to the next level, that we could fight back against some of the meta teams that have been coming out? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Maybe it's just a topping setup. Maybe it's specifically the team. Maybe this isn't even a good enough team to do it anymore. But I did remember when this team was handling it very well in the meta just a couple seasons ago. So I'd like your thoughts. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.